reality, it all never should have happened. He didn't even play football until high school, was just another one of the 7 quarterbacks on the depth chart in university, a lanky, slow afterthought at the combine, who ended up being taken 199th overall. The 7th quarterback taken in the 6th round at the start of the millennium.
New England's offense already designed for Bledsoe. Now comes Brady. Can he overcome that lack of mobility?
So to go from that to accidental starter, dismantling the greatest show on turf, marrying a supermodel while winning 6 Super Bowls, how improbable does that get? Seattle on the doorstep of another championship, until an impossible sequence that had him leaping like a kid again. Down 28-3 to Atlanta, and still on the podium covered in confetti by night's end.
And if there was any doubt coming into this game about Tom Brady and where he ranks, nobody's ever won more Super Bowls, nobody's ever been better.
We're bringing this sucker home!
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady's time in New England is incredibly, and in reality, inevitably, now over. But the 2-decade run in Foxborough will go down as perhaps the greatest and most improbable in the history of professional sports.
And now with no timeouts, I think that the Patriots, with this field position, you have to just run the clock out. You have to play for overtime now.
Little did John Madden or the football world know then that defying the book would be the calling card of Tom Brady's career. He was the backup when that season began, and here he was from being pinned inside his 20, calmly and coolly driving the 14-point underdog Patriots into the history books.
I'll tell you, what Tom Brady just did gives me goosebumps.
And from that magical night until now, with his time in New England now over, how many times did Brady provide that for so many? Think about it. Not one losing season. The only quarterback to win more than 200 regular season games. Unmatched in playoff victories in the history of the NFL. It's his story, that improbable story that has made Tom terrific, the face of a league and a sport for 2 generations. And yet, for so much of his Patriots career, it felt many were salivating for the end to come. A season removed from Madden's goosebumps, New England started 2-2, and the narrative was whether or not it was a mistake to go with Brady over Bledsoe. 3 months later, the Pats were champs again. When he tore up his knee in 2008, the question was whether or not Brady could play at a high level again. Until he threw for over 4,000 yards and was named NFL Comeback Player of the Year. And yet Brady prepared every week as if he was still the 199th overall pick. Something to prove to all of those teams that overlooked him through all of those rounds. And so through it all, Brady stood tallest. 11 straight division titles. After the last one, Bill Belichick stood at the podium and beamed. "I love wearing this hat," he said. Ah yes, Brady and Belichick, the architects of the dynasty, the most brilliant coach-player combo in league history. They needed one another through it all. Tom was willing to play for less than market value, which fueled the culture at Gillette for a while. Yes, in 2014, they may have been on to Cincinnati, but all the while, you just knew there would be a cold divorce when it ended.
Tom Brady is tired of being partnered with Bill Belichick.
The pair were connected, of course, but it also felt there was a divide, one that grew as the years went on. During Deflategate, Bill stood at a press conference and didn't really stand up for his quarterback.
If to ask Tom how he's personally feeling, that's something I can't answer.
When the Patriots drafted Jimmy Garoppolo, it seemed the coach had found his heir apparent, until the owner intervened, and that is when Tom began using his voice cryptically on social media. In the last few years, Brady launched TB12 and had his personal trainer around until Belichick banned him from the building. Then there was the Tom vs. Time documentary.
You know, whatever people call me, they call me. You know, those things don't bother me at all. You know, I don't need exterior motivations. The ones that I have inside of me are enough.
More and more, Brady distancing himself from Belichick and the idea of the Patriot way. Last season, without Gronk or a legit deep threat, it was as if Brady was giving Belichick an ultimatum. Give me weapons or I'll walk. And in the end, he did. Montana ended his playing days in Kansas City. Jordan suited up in Washington. And around the end, Wayne Gretzky bounced from St. Louis to New York. Not every career is a Disney movie. An improbable run at so many turns, now finished in New England. And as polarizing as he was as a Patriot, admit it, when you think back at Tom Brady's time there, you may even have some goosebumps too.